I think the change, right, as I said last week, is because now when she likes him, right, she's a little more self-conscious, which I think is a good character development change, right, because now she's less casual with her body with him, right, because she's like, she actually likes him. On the same time, it is kind of paradoxical, because by being less easier to seduce him, it is very paradoxical. It would be easier for her, right, to seduce him if she kept showing boobs to him. Yeah, so I feel it's a little bit like, now she's more like, oh shit, I can't just show my boobs to him, I gotta be a proper lady, you know, I can't just be like too in his face with my boobs and so on, right? Even though it also probably would work great. So yeah, let's review it, of course, My Dress Up Darling, episode 7, and of course, I will start here. Obviously, it's her sister, and I saw in the last minute there, she's also in the opening, and you know, I love this anime, one of my favorite animes, but I do find, of course, a little angry Sundere, which is flat and tiny, you know, and, oh, I don't think I'm a kid, right? Of course, she has a much taller, bigger, up-eyed sister, right? So it really feels very cliché, very, very tropey. I'm not saying it's terrible, I'm just saying that this is a cliché. This is objectively cliché, right? Because how many times have you have an anime, especially if you watch about Riki Gumiya, the Sundere, the little angry girl, right, with a big up-eyed sister. I mean, it's like one of the most anime things ever, right? It's truly, truly, truly. And for example, Vanitas then, Goes on Fridays with Jan and Chloe, basically the exact same thing, right? So, that being said, yeah, it's her little sister, which is of course massively boobied. And anyway, that was a great, no a waifu, not more a best girl. So, Marin-chan is like, I'm gonna seduce him. I do the naked apron attack, kinda. Just a little more family friendly though. She has, I guess, panties on her under. But, you know, half ass naked, half, yeah, apron attack. Very classic, of course. In a lot of hentais as well as so on. And also, I guess, some other adult stuff. But, why I love this thing, right? It's not just because it's very etchy, and yeah, that's Spider-Man. Because it's etchy and so on. I mean, obviously, who doesn't like some etchy stuff with Marin and showing up eyes. But this is great, right? Because it keeps going. What I said last week, that Marin actually makes sense. Marin is like, okay, I'm in love with this guy, right? She suddenly gets a little bit self-conscious again, because first, she kinda let him in, right? They watched some anime together, going into her anime, over Otaku, and first she's focused on, this is the anime I like, right? This is the character I watch the anime with. But after a few minutes, she's like, oh shit, he's so cute, oh my god, I wanna kiss him, I wanna sleep with him, I wanna have sex, you know, all the stuff right in her brain, oh. And then she's like, I'm hungry, and, you know, so she's like, how can I seduce him? Oh, I know, classic, right? The waifu strategy, how to seduce a boyfriend, yeah, how to get a boyfriend, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna do this thing, right? But that's why I really, really like anime. As I said last week, Marin actually acts like an actual real person, right? Doesn't do this, you know, crazy, tropey stuff, doesn't do cliché, doesn't have her, like, forced behavior. Instead, she's a woman in love with a man, and it's like, okay, in this situation, we have basically a home date. How can I seduce him, right, in my home? Well, I know I can, like, cook for him, right? If I make great food for him, he's gonna see me as a good wife, right? And then he's gonna wanna marry me. You know, it's a very basic strategy. It's not the most creative strategy ever, but the strategy makes sense. And that's why it's, you know, that's why it's great. And then she started doing this, she's like dreaming of, I'll say, she's like, oh yeah, maybe I can feed him, oh it's gonna be so sexy, I can be like, oh god, you can. I will seduce him! It's like, what if I make him food, and I will love on him, and I give it this, then he will get it, then he will understand. So, yeah, I really love that, right? I truly, truly do, because, I mean, obviously I'm iterating, I feel mostly last week, but still, it just kind of shows my point last week, right? Then Marin now, so last week, as I said, she comes to terms that she is in love with him, right? And what I liked in the last episode was she was thinking, okay, how do I seduce him, you know? Because she wasn't just like being this, you know, very, I think, forced anime behavior. Instead, she was like an actual person and tried to strategize like, how do I seduce him, right? You know, to some extent, even though it didn't go so much like that. This episode here, right? We had continuation. Now they are at her place, and she's like, how can I get in bed with him? How can I seduce him? How can I make him understand that I like him? Maybe I can just make food for him. Classic, you know, sexy apron, right? Seduce him with that shit. And then also, what if I write love on the food? He's gonna get it, it's gonna be all cute, adorable, right? And then I get my boyfriend, and I win, right? So, this is like how an actual woman acts, right? And of course, it's also good because she's like fantasizing about, you know, going all out, right? Doing the love things, this is her fantasy. But in the end, she kind of fails that, and also she gets a little, you know, oh my god, no, it's gonna be too much if I do that, right? it's gonna be too much in his face if I write love. Maybe it's enough you showing my boobs, right, whatever, yeah. So she is fantasizing about something, and she does it kind of half-assed, right? Which is, of course, how most people actually act. So, yeah, I really love Marin, right? Because she's like one of the most realistic written female cats ever, right? You know, she's acting out like an actual person, trying to seduce him somehow, right? You know, like, but also, what's good at me is that she has the plan, right? But she kind of fails the plan, both in a technical way, but she fails the plan because she's not insane, right? You know, because I think in most other animes, you get something like, you know, girlfriend, right, where the character said, instead of love, they'd be like, F me or something. Yeah, they would have gone too far, right? You know, in most, or either the characters never go anywhere, right? In this situation, half the horror animes, they don't have the other half. They're gonna be like insane and be like, I'm just gonna write like, please can I, you know, get your PP inside of my, yeah, they're gonna go like crazy, right? So this actually feels like the most reasonable female character. That's like, I wanna do X, but X maybe is too much, so I'm gonna do like half X instead and deal with that. So classic cute romance, right? He eats her food, she's depressed, like, oh, he's gonna hate my food, it's so ugly and it tastes like shit, right? And Gold's like, no, I like it, you know, and it would, I think, but it seemed to be eatable. I think it would be cuter if it actually tasted like shit, though. And she's like, but I hate this food. He'd be like, no, I love it. That would be cuter if you pretended to like it. But seemingly, it looked ugly, but tasted good, so she didn't even fail as much, honestly. But honestly, I would prefer, yeah, if it tasted like shit, right? And he was just faking it to make her happy. Yeah, I think that would be cuter. He was like, oh, it's great. Yeah, and she's like, what? It's the worst thing ever. It looks like my room. Looks like my place. So I think it was great too. And this is why Marin is a good character too. Because even if she's like the perfect woman, right, in many aspects, I think most guys would still be like, oh, she's like a super hot Irish chick, very ginky, very big tits, all stuff, right? But most people also be, wait, she's like a weird nerd though, right? So of course, I think most anime fans are like, the dream lady, one of us. But in reality, right, honestly, unfortunately, most people would be like, what was that weirdo? They would avoid her, right? So I had a discussion a few years ago with a person talking about what's her actual drawbacks, though. Like, she's too good to be true, right? You know what I mean? And I was like, well, there's some drawbacks. But honestly, though, of course, for us here, one of us anime nerds, she's the perfect woman, right? But otherwise, though, I think in the common world, right, outside of us geeks and so on, she probably would actually scare, honestly, most guys away, right? By having this like incredibly otaku, and also do remember that these characters mostly like are like, you know, hentai games, euro games, yeah. She has like a lot of images of like, you know, big-titted, you know, hentai RNS games. She's like, oh yeah, it's the best shit ever. And honestly, most guys would be like, whoa. I'd be like, okay, we can do it. This, you know, the crazy meter is kind of maximized, right? It's some aspect, right? And obviously, I would be like, yeah, yes. But anyway, I think, as I mentioned earlier, though, one drawback though of her room is that she has too much of one girl, right? I do feel it is a weakness of her design, though. I said it earlier, and I didn't mean jokingly. I think that, of course, you're gonna have a lot of sexy posters, right? And honestly, there's a lot of like panty ass shots in her posters. So she has quite the hentai otaku room, certainly, or borderline at least. Well, actually, it's a hentai, whatever. But yeah, she almost has a favorite character, and I don't know. I'm like a one wifey poster guy. As I mentioned again, right? Obviously, I only have one My Senpai poster. I do have a My Senpai figure, of course. That's another thing. I have one Aqua poster and one Konosuba poster, but it's not an Aqua, but it's a Konosuba poster, right? And I do have two Aqua figures and a Mega Man figure. But you know what I mean. You're gonna have all the wives, right? You know, you're gonna have all of them. You can't just have one, right? I just have the Mega Man figure over here. Actually, it's like really big, so I can just get it here. Like, you know, you're gonna have the collection, right? You can't just have one, right? You're gonna have all of them. You know, you can't just like only get only get one and so on. So I think she's a little maybe too focused, though. That's her drawback as an otaku. She's like, she only has she got she's too one-dimensional. Only that hentai lady. You gotta have more stuff, Myra. You can have one of them. As I said last week, it's a great scene there where she gets most self-conscious, and this scene now certainly points to that, right? That she's episode 1, it doesn't feel like she would have been embarrassed opening the door almost half naked, right? But now she's like, oh my god, go think I'm a perv, I have to stop perving out on his face, right? But now it feels more like she's actually, again, it feels kind of, as I mentioned earlier, paradoxical, as in the reaction part. I was like, it's kind of paradoxical how she's used to be, let's call it, more slutty, right, in his face. You know, she's like less slutty. She's like, oh, I think I'm a weird perv lady, I have to stop being so in his face with the boobs and so on, right? Now she's like more trying to restrain herself, I guess, so to speak. Which is kind of funny, because she also tries to do similar. Because I feel like she just keep doing her first thing, which she wasn't thinking about it, that was also obviously a good strategy. And now she's like, oh, I can't, I have to stop showing my oppies, I gotta dress up and so on. Yeah. But I think it's a great writing, right? It's a really good writing, because, as I said earlier, right, I said that last week, that she's just coming from basically being very, very casual with the body, just, you know, basically showing everything to him, right? And now she's more like, I want to have sex with him, but he probably thinks I'm a weirdo, so now she cares more about, you know, not looking like a freak or whatever, yeah. Not being as much that. But at the same time, it also probably worked though, so you just keep doing it more, you don't have to restrain yourself. It goes down. So, lastly though, I want to talk about the poor new girl, right? We mentioned earlier in the beginning of the room, her sister has big ropas or whatever, yeah, typical, you know, short girl. But I have to say though, right, God you better marry Marin seriously now, because like she is like, these two are basic hentais. Yeah, she's like, what are you talking about? And you're like, oh, he's measured all your body portion. I mean, she's just like, what's wrong with you two? I mean, you know, when you think about it, Godyo has, well, I mean, he knows that Marin is a special kind of woman, though, certainly, but still, Godyo has no friends, right? Except, of course, Marin. He's the only friend in his whole life. He's like, you know, kind of a poor, arrested kid, right? And the only woman he basically ever known is Marin. His mom is dead, so he has some, you know, girl next door, like 10 plus years ago, right, basically, you know. So he more or less only knows Marin-chan. And she's like, you two are hentais, right? Yeah. Because, you know, Marin, she's an otoko hentai girl. She likes hentai, right? You know, let's be honest. She's a, you know, little pervert. And she's obviously rubbing off her her stuff on Gordio, right? And we see her being, I guess, kind of the normal person, the straight person, I guess, the straight man or straight girl, then, right? In this kind of drama here. She's a normal saint, but he's like, whoa, those two are weird together. Last week she was like, you're dating, right? He's like, no, you're dating, okay, but you kind of dating. No, she's like, oh, you two are hentais together. Yeah, she's like, whoa, I have to leave. And then he's like, I have the money, and okay, fine, I'll stay, right? But I like that too, that she's like, basically think that God is a hentai too now. Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, they're both weirdos. They're both, you know, hentai in the classic sense of being weird, right? Yeah, they're like, oh yeah. So, I was thinking that God, you really better marry Marin now, as, you know, every older lady he's like a weirdo. Because Marin is breaking him, right? Marin makes him think that this is a reasonable behavior with female. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, my boobs are a problem. Look at my pots. So yeah, he's like, yeah, of course, yeah. Sure. But anyway, another great episode. Subscribe and smash everything. And I'll see you guys with One Piece tonight, of course, 10 tomorrow. Demon Slayer is unfortunately ended, right? Ended last week, so yeah. Well, they announced in 3, of course. They announced in 3, but obviously it's like a year straight. But I see you guys and have a great day.